How y'all doing? My name's Josiah French, and today I'm going to tell you the story of how I knew I made it as a musician. So this whole story starts back in 2017 when I was going on a school trip to Cuba. Yeah, you heard me right. We were going on a school trip to Cuba. It was a 3-week long vacation. So essentially, the program that you would do is called the Service and Study Program. It was 3 weeks long. It was international and domestic, and they would pick different places all around the world for you to go for these 3 weeks. And you would learn, study, and meet people from this environment, get tours, go to the museums, have guides, this, that, and the third. But you'd also do some sort of community service for the place that you were going to visit. So I was lucky enough to get picked and accepted to go to Cuba my senior year, right? So me and this group of kids gets picked. We're about to go to Cuba, and we're all getting to know each other, right? And there's this guy I really liked. His name was Jackson. Jackson's going to be a really important part of this story. So me and all these kids, we get to know each other. We all get our money saved up. We go through all the proper pre-traveling stuff that you have to do. You know what I'm saying? We get our itineraries. Everyone gets their passports. And then we go off to Cuba. We all stayed in different places. So we had these houses we were staying in, and we were staying in with local families. So it was me and 2 other kids. Jackson, the kid that I just mentioned, he was one of the people who I was staying with, as well as a good friend named John. So I was with Jackson and John, and we didn't have a chaperone in our building. It was just us and the family. And then you're down like a mile away is another family, a mile away is another group, and we're all split up into gender in little small groups, and we're with these families, right? So since everyone was staying in different houses, we did have a home base, and it was this Esperanto school where they were super courteous, super kind. They took care of us. They fed us. That was where we'd meet every morning. And we'd also have Spanish classes there every day. So before we'd go do a tour of the capital, or we'd go out to the tobacco farm, or whatever we were doing for that day, we would meet there for breakfast, go to our Spanish classes, and then disperse and do the different things that we had to do. And when we were in the school, one of the things I noticed was there was a guitar in the back of one of the rooms. And I love guitar. That's my favorite instrument. I play a couple instruments, but my favorite is a guitar. And I seen the guitar, it was calling my name. So when we had free time and we were in the school, I was picking that up and I was doing my little thing, playing the guitar. So, we're going about our business. And one day, I think it was when me and Jackson were getting ready for bed one night, or we were walking around. I can't remember where we were, but I remember talking to Jackson. I said he's an integral part of this story. Jackson starts talking to me and he goes, "Josiah, I know you're a musician. I know you love music. What to you defines it as making it? How do you know you made it as a musician?" And I was like, that's a good question. I started pontificating on the topic. I started thinking about it. I'm like, what would I think? What would I quantify? How could I quantify or qualify what it means to make it as a musician, right? So I'm sitting here thinking, and I sit there and I think about this, and I had to bring and present to my class the history of Cuban music. And one of the people that I studied was Silvio Rodriguez. And when I was watching videos of him, there's a very powerful video of him playing Ojalá. And when he plays this song, it's live. It looks like it's to a 250,000 people. I don't know how big the crowd was, but it's a huge crowd of people. He's playing on stage by himself with just his guitar, and he's singing. All he's doing is singing and playing guitar, right? And they'd pan to the crowd, and these people are crying. They're bawling. They're singing with so much emotion and conviction. He is stirring, moving thousands of people just by himself with a guitar. And the fact that I saw these people just bawling their eyes out, crying, you know what I mean? So to answer his question, I thought of that video. And when I thought of that video, I told him, I said, "Jackson, to me, what it means to make it as a musician is to be able to make a room full of people cry." I was like, to just be with you and your instrument. You don't even have a full band. You could, but it's just you and your instrument. Maybe just you and the guitar, you and the piano, just you singing with your one instrument, and you can make a room full of people cry. If you can bring that much emotion and conviction out of people's hearts, you by yourself, I don't care how many streams you got. I don't care how many people know about you. That is the definition to me of making it as a musician. I told him that, and he's like, "Oh man, that's powerful." And I told him the video that I was referencing that I kind of got that idea from. He's like, "Okay, that makes sense." And we go about our trip. And unfortunately on the trip, me and a group of kids might not have made the best decisions. Our chaperones, they had this thing where they're like, "Okay, you guys got 3 or 4 hours. You got 3 hours. What we're going to do is, as long as you don't leave this mile around the school that is our home base, the Esperanto school, You're fine. Just walk around, see the sights. Just meet us back here at whatever time, 3 o'clock, right? Yeah, okay, I get to walk around this foreign country. They're like, just make sure you stay in your groups. No one go alone, and you can walk around anywhere you want. You're telling that to a motherfucking 18-year-old kid. We start walking. But the group I'm with, we're like, we got to get a bottle because it's legal to drink in Cuba. I know what you're thinking. You're like, what are you doing? You're jeopardizing the whole trip. I know, but we're kids. We're so smart. We're stupid, you know? So we walk around and we eventually find a convenience store, like a little gas station, like on the corner. Like, you know, they're selling stuff to you through a window. We get 2 bottles, 2 big fists of some rum, some Havana Club rum, right? Put it in our backpacks. We're walking around filling up water, and it looks like water. It obviously don't smell like water, but it looked like water. So we're putting in our little water bottles. We're walking around. We're sipping. And then eventually we start offering it to the other kids in the group. Because, you know, it's a big group of kids. Like, who else? I mean, we in Cuba, baby. Who wants some rum? Am I tripping? Am I crazy? Maybe I'm tripping. Okay, right? I mean, I'm completely sober now, so I could see why I was tripping at the time. But you got to think, a young kid, you give them that much free reign, you know what I mean? We're bound to do something stupid. And we did. We got 2 bottles. We got 2 fists. We were filling up water bottles, taking them with us. And this was going on for a couple of days where we were taking our little rum with us everywhere we went. You know, I wasn't grabbing a whole fifth with me everywhere I went, but I fill up this water bottle, fill that water bottle full, and then, you know what I'm saying, carry that around with me. Just be sipping. Start offering it to the other kids in the group. Some kids want it, some kids don't, you know. Other people are drinking it too. But, you know, not everyone wants to drink it. Okay, whatever. And then I remember we go to salsa class, right? There was a class where they're going to teach us how to dance. So we're learning how to dance, and I remember I'm salsa, and I love to dance. Yo, so I was so excited for this class. We're in there for like 5 minutes, and they pull me out. They're like, Josiah, we need to come talk to you. They sit me down, mad serious. They're like, we heard some of you and the other kids have been drinking. I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. Drinking? How would I be drinking on the trip? They're like, no, we heard some of you and these other kids have been drinking. It's a serious thing. We need you to tell us the truth. Have you been drinking? No, I don't know what you're talking about. Because to me, I'm thinking I might have a little water bottle on me, but one, there ain't no big bottle. My bottle is at the apartment that I'm staying at, and there's no chaperone there, and it's deep in my bag. You won't even find it. You know what I'm saying? So I don't got nothing on me. I actually haven't even really been drinking like that today. So I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about. I really don't. Okay, whatever. But then they pull me to the back of this room, and I sit there by myself. And then one after another, the group of kids that I was with when we bought the bottle, there was 4 of us. The group of kids I was with, they started showing up. So they've been interrogating us separately. They've been grabbing each one of us and asking us the same question. And the first 3 of us all lie. We know exactly what to do. We're like, nope, I don't know what you're talking about. I really don't know what you're talking about. Nope, I ain't been drinking. The first 3 of us. So let's move. And I look over and I'm like, did you say? He's like, no, I didn't say nothing. So okay, we're cool. And then I don't know exactly what happened, but what I heard was that the 4th one of us, they ran up on her like, have you been drinking? And she was like, I'm so sorry. You know, we got the bottle and we've been drinking, but like, don't send us home. Like, what we've been drinking, da. Crying, hella emotional. I feel you. It's an emotional situation. We spent all this money to get here. And then they bring us back in separately one at a time. Like, we heard there's new information. We want to present to you. So you guys have been drinking. You were lying to us. Man, almost made it out. There was almost all 4 of us who stayed true to the bone and didn't say nothing. But one of us cracked. That's all it takes, right? Okay, whatever. I can't be mad at it because we caught, but we didn't get. Like, we're caught, but we're not caught. Like, you didn't catch me in the action. You never saw me doing it. But somebody told you guys. Like, someone in this group who I tried to offer this drink to went and told y'all that what we was doing. So we got, like, people were like, oh, you got caught drinking. You're stupid. I never got caught drinking. I was drinking for several days next to my chaperones with my little water bottle. They never seen it. They never even smelt it. You know what I'm saying? But someone snitched us out on the trip. One of the kids who we offered to drink with us, but said no, went and told the chaperones. Man. So now they're talking about, oh, we're going to send you guys home and And keep in mind, this is like the 6th day of the trip. We're supposed to be here for 3 weeks. This is like the 6th day. I paid $4,500. Like, yeah, we got to send you guys home. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Not even did I pay $4,500. I'm a talker. I thank the Lord all the time because he gave me the gift of gab. I can't write a story or nothing, but I could talk a story. I could talk. I'm a talker. I've always been good in public speaking settings. And so I remember they're like, Josiah, some of these kids, they don't got the money. This is before we went to the trip. They're like, Josiah, some of these kids don't got the money for the trip. So we're going to go to this fundraiser and we're going to have you speak. We need you to write a speech for us. And then they're going to do a raise the paddle or something. I don't know how auctions and stuff work, but they're going to do donations after. Pretty much how moving and how impactful your speech is to this group of donors. We're going to go to this nonprofit dinner and we're going to say, hey, these kids need some money for this trip to Cuba. Can you help them? I'm like, okay, I love to talk. That's my thing. But keep in mind, I worked a physical labor job. I've been paying houses since I was 15 years old. So I was able to get my $4,500. I didn't need no help. So I didn't need that extra money. But a lot of the other kids, $4,500 is hard to get. I understand. I get it, right? So not only were they trying to send me home, but they had me do this speech before we went, and they still sent me home. And what's crazy is we had 2 different schools combined to go on this trip. We had both the presidents for both of these schools, and they still had me, little old me, do the speech. They have neither one of the student body presidents do it. They had Josiah in French, and I raised $12,000 for these folk. I did my speech. I did my little thing. I looked up there presentable, probably had my little suit jacket on, $12,000 raised. And I paid for my whole trip. I didn't need help in my trip. That's off topic. But they were like, okay, so we're going to send you guys home. We're going to send you guys home tomorrow. Whoop-de-whoop-whoop. So this is emotional. So they're about to send us home. We go home that night, sleep, wake up the next day. But they still make us go to Spanish class. So the next day, we're still in Spanish class, right? In Spanish class, I'm not doing my work. I'm not finna hold you. I'm not doing my work. I'm sitting here writing a song because I was listening to this song before I left called I Don't Know Where I'm Going by Rory Gallagher. And I start writing this song and I start remixing the words with the melody because I could hear the melody in my head and I know how many syllables it is, right? So I rewrite the whole verses and a little bit of the chorus to fit the situation. Because I don't want to go through this. This is a sad experience. So the best thing I can do as someone who deals with my traumas, my pains, and my experiences, I put the pen to paper and I tell you my tale through the music. So I write this whole song. I remix this song called I Don't Know Where I'm Going by Rory Gallagher. And they're pretty much like, okay, your group of kids, they're going to go off. They're going to go do their thing. The kids that are getting sent home, you guys have to stay here, get your stuff together, and you guys are going to get sent home in a couple hours. The other kids, they're going to go to the beach today. Great. So, we're disappointed. Our hearts are breaking. I asked the chaperones, I asked the teacher, I'm like, before this group of kids who we've been spending all this time with, before they go, can I play you guys a song I just wrote? She's like, I don't know if that's going to work. I don't know if that's suitable. They need to go catch this bus. I'm like, it'll be quick. I'll be fast. But if I could just please play everyone this song because it's the last I'm going to see them, right? And I just wrote this song a few minutes ago. So I find that guitar in the corner that I've been telling you about. I saw that guitar in the corner early on this trip. God put that guitar there for me. It was a blessing that it was even there. Could have not been there and this whole story would be different. I go get that guitar. We all go out into the patio. And I play this song. And the song, I talk about how mad I was at myself, how I disappointed my peers because I was a leader. I was a good person on this trip. I created a lot of good times. I let myself down. I let you guys down. And then the last words in the chorus are, stay bright for one day. You might run into this patch of gray clouds too. And as I get to the last chorus and I start singing those lyrics, I start crying. Like I can't think of many times where I cried when I ever played music. And so I'm crying in this last chorus. And then I finish and I look up and everyone's crying too. Like every person was crying a little bit or crying a lot, bawling. People like, we don't want you guys to go. Please let them stay. Everyone's crying. It's really emotional. I'm crying. The people that are getting sent home with me are crying. It was a sad experience. We didn't want to leave, And like I said, I was crying my eyes out on that last chorus. I put the guitar down. I tell everyone thank you for listening. I told the chaperone thank you for letting me play the song. And as I'm tears streaming down my face, the kid Jackson I told you about, who's so important, he walks up, grabs me by the shoulders and says, Josiah, I guess you finally made it, huh? The emotions are still palpable. It's heavy. But that was the story of how I knew I made it as a musician.